This is the first problem that we're going to solve. The solution is right beneath it, so I don't want to look on that. So you guys can read it. Okay, so it's saying a committee of 3 is to be chosen from 4 men and 5 females. Given that it has at least 1 woman, what's the probability it has exactly 2 women? What does this tell you? Whenever you see this, what does it tell you? That question involves what?
Basically.
No, it's like
Sure, but not necessarily. Yeah.
it's के if this has already happened तो अब उसके बाद क्या?
Yes. So it's what's the word that you're
Conditional.
yeah,
conditional.
precisely. So because this is a condition that has been given to you, right? Whenever you see this, you know that okay, you know what, this involves some notion of conditional probability. Okay. So what it's asking is, are you guys familiar with, do you want me to do an example by the definition of conditional probability? Anything like that? Like, are you familiar with it? Conditional probability. What about you?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, good. So it's asking you, given at least 1 woman, what's the probability it has exactly 2 females? So 2W given, this is what you're required to find, right? Is that clear? Alright. By the definition of conditional probability, what would this be equal to? Intersection W. Do you understand what this W means, or should I specify?
The number
Like
of
this, or just women, right? Okay. The committee has 1 woman versus 2 women. Okay. So this is the definition of conditional probability, and this is what you're required to do, right? Okay. Now think about this set. You have to calculate the probability, sure, but what is this set? What should this set be equal to?
2 women.
Yes, precisely. Because the first one being a female, right, is already a subset of this, right? So what we require is that this would then translate to probability of 2 women over probability of women. And now we can find these 2 out. Okay. What's the probability of a single female being in the committee? There are so many possibilities, right? Whenever you have such a thing, you always, the simplest way, there are other methods to do this, but the simplest way is that you take a complement. So you say probability of 1 woman is the same as 1 minus probability of all men, because these 2 must add up to 1. So you can rewrite this equation as this. Is that clear? Okay. What is the probability that all are men? All men are chosen. Well, that would be, where is your committee?
4 choose 3.
4 choose 3. That's the number of ways you can choose the men. That's your favorable outcomes, right? But it's the number of ways. You want a probability, so you have to divide it by what?
9, 6.
Yes. Total possible ways. Clear? Please tell me the answer. If you want to okay, I did not bring my calculator, so you guys will have to do the calculation.
1 over 21.
1 over 21, right? Okay, good. So now so you've got this, you subtract 1 from this, what do you get? 1 minus 1 over 21, 21, 21, and then 20 over 21. Is that clear? Clear? Keep okay? Okay. So I've computed probability of women, which is 20 over 21. Okay. Now I want probability of 2 females, right? If you have a committee where you have to choose 3 people and 2 of them are females, right? What would be the probability? Be very careful. This is saying exactly 2 females. So you can't have 3 females, first of all, right? Is that clear? Okay. So you have 5 females, 5 choose 2, and then from men, 4 choose 1, divided by the total. What's that? 93. Clear? Please do the calculation and tell me the answer to this.
Excuse me. Probability of PW is just probability of having exactly one woman, right? PW.
Probability of W is what?
Of the probability of having exactly one woman, right?
Yes.
Uh, 10 by 20.
10 by
21.
Good. So now I divide the 2. Probability of 2 women by probability of women. What do I get? 10 by 21 divided by 20 by 21. That's just 21 gets cancelled. 10 by 20, 1 by 2. Is that clear? Any questions so far? I've just used that, right?
Excuse me, why did you use for probability of W? You use the probability of all men, 20 over 21. So why did you do that?
No, that's basic. That was 1 over 21. Probability
Oh.
of all men is 1
Okay,
over
okay.
21.
Okay,
I
yes.
subtracted from
Got it.
that from 1.
Yes, yes, I was confused.
We have assumed the fact that order does not matter in this case because it's not a committee of let's say, a president, a vice president, and a general secretary, right? It's just 3 people. So order shouldn't matter, right? Else we would have used permutations. Good. Let's go to the next question.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you just explain that expression? वो सबसे top पे जो था वो मैं कैसे आया?
सबसे ऊपर वाला?
जी.
Okay. Forget about that. What is the definition of conditional probability? It's this, right?
Actually, I
Where
can't.
A is an event, B is an event.
Okay.
Yeah? I've used that definition.
Okay.
Okay? So, this thing
Okay.
is exactly that.
Alright.
And then I use the fact, if you have two females, obviously you
this
have
I
one,
understand.
right?
Yeah, this I understand.
Question number 2. It's fairly simple. There is some additional information missing from this, so I'll get to that. So A is basically you get accepted into lungs, and H is you get in hostel. Are these independent events or not?
Dependent, because if you're getting admission only, then you can get a
Precisely.
hostel.
Thank you. Right. So what is required? Find the probability an applicant is accepted and gets hostel accommodation. So given my A donates acceptance and H donates hostel accommodation, it's saying probability accepted, given accepted, hostel allocation. Right?
But see, the wording over there says that find the probability an applicant accepted and gets hostel accommodation. So
Yes, you're
what?
right. So I did not read it. This is what is required. Clear? Do you understand what happened?
Yep.
Oh, good. And because I asked you, they're not independent. If they were independent, what could I have done? I could have just written their product, P of H into P of A, and then that would have been fine. But they're not independent, right? So how do I solve this? Well, I know again the definition of conditional probability, which is, okay, let me add in the information that you need to know. P of, this is the additional information, this will be provided to you. I don't want to spend now time on it. Solve this. Everything is provided, literally. You want to find this? These two have been provided to you. एग्जाम आपका है, मेरा नहीं है, तो सॉल्व कर लो.
0.5 into 0.2. 0.1.
ये कैसे आ रहा है? Simple.
With the conditional probability का formula.
Yeah. So probability of A is given A is the same as probability of H intersection A, probability of A. You want to find this out, you take this onto the other side, you have this available, multiply, you get that. Is that clear?
So where did these numbers come from? 0.5?
They were provided to you in the
In the
question, but there was some typo, which is why they the guy who made this told me that they were provided. They're part of the question. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, लिख लिया आप लोगों ने? Okay. Now read the question. I have no idea what this means, but let's just say X has some bag has 4 red balls and 6 blue balls, and you are gonna draw two balls without replacement. What does without replacement mean? Without replacement. With means I have always found this very, I don't know, there are some words that your brain can't handle. This is one of those words. So what I do is, I just write it like that, without. So what this means,
You take the ball
Not-
out every
yeah.
time you.
yeah, you're not replacing. So basically this means that once you take it out, you don't
Put it back.
like put it back. Okay? Fine. Alright. So the first ball that you draw is red. Find the probability second ball is blue and red. So this is what you're required to find, and this is what you're required to find. Right? Is that clear? How would you do that? Try to solve it on your own. Just so one thing. Can I add these terms, and should these terms be equal to 1? Just out of curiosity.
Both of these probabilities.
Yeah. Should they add up to 1?
Yeah, they should.
Right?
Yeah. Because the second ball can either be blue or red.
Yeah. So let's do it another way then. That is not done here. But I mean, it's fairly simple. Let's first calculate this and then use this, that you add these up and that they must be equal to 1 to find out this. So did you guys get to this?
Sir,
Yeah.
would this be 6 choose 1 over 9 choose 1? Over 9 choose 1.
I don't get it. First of all, this is a conditional probability, right? So you want to write it as probability of B2 intersection R1 over probability of R1. Right? Okay. What should I do? First of all, are these independent of each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You're trying to solve it?
Good.
Good, good, good. What? कर लिया आपने?
हाँ कर लीजिए
Clear, good. Alright. So I can then write this as a product. P of B2, P of R1, P of R1. Right? Fairly simple. I didn't even need to calculate R1, like the probability of R1, because it was just going to get cancelled anyway, right? What is probability of B2? Now you have to be careful. Why? Because you have to assume that you have picked one ball out. So now the total balls remaining are 9. And how many of them are blue? 6. Precisely. That would then just be 6 over 9. Clear? Okay, what would this be? Again, you could have used the same logic as this, but I don't want to do that. You can do it, it's perfectly fine. And it's just click that, these two, while just doing this, that, okay, you know what, maybe you can do it that way as well. Which is just that probability of B2 given R1 plus probability of, this is the total of probability, R1 equals 1. So you have this equals 6 by 9 plus this thing.
1 by 3.
That's just 1 by 3.
So the initial solution that I gave, 6 choose 1 over 9 choose 1, I calculated that, and it's also 2 by 3, same as this.
You did what? 6 choose 1
over 9 choose 1. So you choose one ball, ऊपर वाली possibility है blue आने की, total
You're right.
6 में से 1, and then
बिल्कुल
नीचे
बिल्कुल
9.
ठीक. Yes, बिल्कुल ठीक. But the point is that these were independent, which is why you could do this. So like the systematic way would be that you first define it like this,
Okay.
then reduce that problem to this, right? So that you can carry out more general cases as well. But this is perfectly fine. It's much simpler and yeah, perfectly good. Alright, let's do the next question. Okay. Probability that it rains on a given day is 0.3. So when it's donated by probability of R equals 0.3. The probability that a student carries an umbrella on a rainy day is 0.9, 0.8 on a rainy day. Carries an umbrella given there is rain equals 0.8. Is that clear? It's a conditional probability. And on a non-rainy day is 0.1. Donating non-rainy day by R complement 0.1. Given that the student is carrying an umbrella, what is the probability that it is raining? The probability that it's raining given the student is carrying an umbrella. Now you have to use
Base theory.
yes. What does this imply? You know about the proof of Bayes theorem? Very simple. put that? So by conditional probability, what would this be equal to? That's not even, okay, forget about that. What is the, if I want to do this via conditional probability, what is this equal to?
Sorry, what?
What is this equal to if I want to use the definition of conditional probability?
Conditional probability or Bayes theorem?
There, we'll get there, just forget about Bayes theorem right now.
Probability of R intersection U over PU.
Over?
PU. And the probability of another.
Good. Okay. Now this thing over here. Is there a difference between this and this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're symmetric under the
Intersection.
intersection operation, right? Because it shouldn't matter. They're just common elements to both sets, R and U.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Okay. So now this is where your Bayes theorem also comes in. I can define this as actually not even define it, it is the same as that, as this. And then this becomes probability of U given R times probability of R. Is this clear? It should not be. It's not. So let me hold it. The main idea is this. If I want to define conditional probability, this is the definition. If I switch A and B, right, it's again a definition, right? Now the thing is, these two things, they're the same. So I can, in either this formula, I can substitute this taking here like this, or in this formula taking this to this. And that's basically how you get the Bayes theorem. Because you don't, the issue here is, you don't know this, either this or that. You don't know the intersection, how many elements are there, and you don't basically know what this probability is. So instead of, so you express this in terms of this, P of A times probability of B given A as this. You use this relationship and you plug this here. So this would then be probability of A probability of A given B equals, I'm going to write it as white. So this is P of A probability of B given A over this P of B. Is that clear? Okay. This is exactly what I'm doing here. So you had R given you, right? Now I want to replace this thing with this thing, right? So what do I get? And this is your good old base theorem. Why did I express this in terms of this? Well, because I was already given these conditional probabilities, right? So I can now easily use this in this expression explicitly, right? Make sense? Sure. आपको समझ आ रही है? पक्का?
ये सर ने क्लास में भी कराया था।
अच्छा कराया हो? सो आप कर कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी ही यूज रहे हैं, राइट? बट उसकी सिर्फ फॉर्म आपने चेंज कर दी। और जब उसको कहते हैं इन्वर्जन ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटीज, बिकॉज यहाँ पे आर यू है और यहाँ पे यू आर है, तो स्विच हो गया। बट आर सिर्फ इस वजह से रहा, इसकी सिमेट्री की वजह से। कर लिया आपने ये वाला सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम 4? वेरी गुड। हो गया? जी? Yeah, I'm going. So, what do we want to calculate? P of R given U equals P of U given R, P of R, P of U. Let's first talk about P of U. What is that? Probability that he is carrying an umbrella. Well, he can carry umbrella on a rainy day or a non-rainy day, right? So we have to weight it. That would just be, ये बात समझना है तो पूछिएगा, By the way, just so a problem solving tip, ये जो होता है ना P of U, जो भी आपके बेस यूनिट के अंदर डिनोमिनेटर के अंदर फर्स्ट टर्म या एक टर्म एग्जैक्टली न्यूमिनेटर वाली ही होती है, which is written in here, और बाकी आपकी एडिशनल टर्म्स होती है. ओके, सो व्हाट इज दिस? प्रोबेबिलिटी इंडिपेंडेंट की प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या है अम्ब्रेला कैरी करने? Well, that would be, given that it's raining, he carries umbrella times the probability it's raining, right? So this is your, you can think of each as weight of each other, right? Likewise, probability that it's not raining, and given that it's not raining, he is carrying the umbrella. Is that statement clear? So now this, I already know all of these. P of U given R is 0.8. So let's just write that. Okay. So this is 0.8 given to me in the question. Probability of rain is 0.3 again given to me in the question, plus this thing, what's that? 0.1 times, I can find this by just subtracting 1 from, so 0.7, okay, good. 0.1, 0.8, yes. So this would just be, again, this term is in the numerator, so 0.8 times 0.3 over 0.8 times 0.3 plus 0.1 times 0.7. Please compute and tell what's the problem.
0.77.
Let me just check. $774, perfectly fine. Okay. Let's now go to this. Problem 5. आप लोग रीड कर लो. Okay, so a factory has 3 machines with different production rates and defect rates. Machine A produces 50% of the items with a defect rate of 1%. Machine B produces 30%, blah blah, and machine C produces this. So first of all, given that you are expecting any item, does it come from A, B, C? What's that probability? %50 is manufactured by A, right? Good. What would that be?
0.7.
Okay. Good. What do you want to find out? If two defective items are found consecutively from the same machine, find the probability they were produced by machine C. This is what you want to find out. Probability that they came from C, given D1 is for the first defective piece, intersection D2. Is that point clear?
Can't you just multiply them d1 times
D1 times D2? Yes, you can. They're independent. No, this simply no. So okay, hold on. This is what you've been given, that two defective pieces came. You want to find out this probability
At that instant, why we rejecting it as d1 intersection d2?
because I don't get what you're trying to say. This is D1 intersection D2.
Okay, I'll just think of it as multiplication.
Sure, it's just saying what it means is, where is that? That both came from C. You want to find that probability. Okay, make sense? And you'll see a bit like if when I go ahead, why am I using this? So you just wait a minute and you'll see. Like what's the utility of it? Okay? So these are these. Okay, fine. Now, given that it's from A, what is the probability that it's defective?
2.0.
Okay, good. Likewise, 0.02 probability of, so D is donating just the defective piece. There is no number associated right now. 0.5. Good. Okay. So, how can I write this? Using Bayes' theorem, I can write it as D1 intersection D2. Given C, probability of C over probability of D1 intersection D2. Is that clear? Okay. So obviously this is one of my terms inside this, right? And I repeat it for B and A to basically get this. Okay, let's do that. So probability of D1 intersection probability of D2, well that's just probability of D1 intersection probability of D2 times P of C. Oops, no. Plus that clear? Okay. What is this? Now when you were saying why are you not writing it as a product, right? Now I can do that. First of all, why? Yeah, but I could not do that over here, there. Now I can do that because this is similar to both of these. You're saying its probability, it's given that the machine is C, right? The thing is that over there, your D1 or D2 would have come from any of those, right? Furthermore, it also, that is my condition, right? That's my condition. I don't wanna, that's it. Like I can't separate that out in any way. Okay? Here I can do that because this would then just be equal to probability of D1 given C, again intersection probability of D2 given C. This I can express as that because C is common to both. Okay, now, and they are obviously independent of each other. Now what is this equal to? 0.05, right? So 0.05 times 0.05, that's a 0.05 squared. Clear? Likewise for B and A. I'm going to do that here. I don't need to rewrite this, right? It's just going to be the square of all of those numbers, right? 0.01 and 0.02. And then you have to weight it by their respective capacity. That 50% is being made from A, 20% is made from C, and so forth, right? And that would give me this thing over here. So, okay, good. So, D1 intersection D2 given B is just 0.02 squared. Likewise, probability of D1 intersection D2 given A is just 0.01 squared. Now I substitute everything into this. Numerator is just 0.05 squared times probability of C. What's the probability of C? 0.2. And my denominator, I get the same thing plus from the other, okay, yeah, so 0.02 squared from B, B's weight is 0.3 plus 0.01 for A, and its weight is 0.5. Please calculate and tell me the answer.
The midterm exam जो है
जी?
उसमें the midterm exam जो है उसमें same difficulty of questions होंगे या more complex?
To be really honest, I don't. But practice always helps, so I would just say practice.
And practice कहाँ से like ये तो चले
एक वेबवर्ड पे आया है, आपको प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस भी मिले होंगे,
Yep.
ठीक है, वो आप सारे करें विद मिनिमल हेल्प करें. ओके, हाँ, स्पेंड सम टाइम ऑन इट और पहले अटेम्प्ट करें अच्छे तरीके के साथ. ना समझ आए मेरे पास आए, काफ़ी we're like 8 TAs, right? So you can come to anyone. Our office hours are available. We're all of us will be much obligated. Actually, we would love for you guys to come to us and have questions, right? So good scene. आगे पूछें, because अभी आप मज़े की बात है, अभी हमने कुछ questions ऊपर किए हैं. There are so many ways to combination और जो आपका permutation के सवाल होते हैं. There are so many ways to do those questions, but it's all about what's the most efficient way. How do you get to the most efficient way? You know the answer. What's the answer?
Combination.
Practice.
Practice.
ठीक है. You can really make your life much harder than it has to be राइट, बाय नॉट प्रैक्टिसिंग। आप प्रैक्टिस करते हो, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आपको आइडिया होता है। पहले आप वही काम कर रहे हो, यू आर एक्सप्लोरिंग डिफरेंट ट्रेजेक्टरीज, बट विद टाइम you start to see certain patterns, तो फिर वो it becomes easier। ये आसान लग नहीं है, ये तो आसान है ना सारे के सारे। हाँ, ये मैंने नहीं बनाया, तो अगली दफ़ा इंशाल्लाह मुश्किल होगी, ठीक है। Let me see. What's the answer? 0.746 आया हुआ मेरा।
Seven four six.
0.746, right? Yeah, precisely. ये बिल्कुल find that and 3, yeah, it's correct। ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं। One more thing, जिस तरह वो पहला क्वेश्चन था कमेटीज वाला, make your own questions from that very question। You can make like 10 different questions just from that question and then try to solve those। That's it। आपको आइडिया होगा कि क्या क्या चीज़ें आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। और how just के exactly 2 और just 2, मतलब ये कि 2 हो जाए, 3 हो जाए, 4 हो जाए, फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता। इन दोनों बात में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क कैसे आता है, यू कैन लाइक अंडरस्टैंड दैट। रीड द क्वेश्चन, प्रॉब्लम 6। बताते जाएं। पहली स्टेटमेंट को मैथमेटिकली आप लिखवाएं, क्या हो के मैं कह देता हूँ नो है, सी इज फॉर करेक्ट। सो व्हाट्स द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट, सेकंड आप लिखवा रहे हैं। व्हाट इज द मैथमेटिकल एक्सप्रेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट? Very good। Second expression आप लिखवाएं। When the student knows the answer, they answer correctly 100% of the time।
Probability मतलब PC given K is 1।
Very good। When the student does not know the answer, they randomly guess among 4 choices। You।
Probability of C given K complement
Very good।
equal to 1/4.
Good। If the student answers the question correctly, what is the probability that they actually knew the answer? आप लिखवाएं छोटी स्टेटमेंट, क्या what is required from you?
Probability K given C।
Probability K given C, ये मांगा जा रहा है मेरे से। If the student answers the question correctly, good. What is the probability that they knew the answer? Very quickly। जी भाई, जब इतनी कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटीज आ गई हैं, immediately you know base it, right? First of all, यहाँ से मुझे क्या पता चल रहा है? .3, right? is खुद ही कर लो आप लोग, फिर मुझे आंसर बताओ. जी ये एक्सप्रेशन है, क्या आंसर है? 0.903. इस ये आया ना, समझ आ गया? Okay. Consider rolling two fair-sided dice. Let y be the sum. What is y? Y is a random variable. I wanted to cover that in the in a detail in the next tutorial, but अभी के लिए हम ये क्वेश्चन तो करेंगे. G. Let y be the sum of the numbers showing what is the probability function of y. Sample space क्या होगी? पहली बात तो ये. आप दो पॉइंट ऑसेस करना, राइट? So let's
die.
Yeah, sorry, that, right? Okay, so you can imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. बात समझ आ रही है?
Yes.
प्रोबेबिलिटी मैथ फंक्शन क्या होता है? डिस्क्रीट रैंडम वेरिएबल के लिए प्रोबेबिलिटी मैथ फंक्शन क्या होता है? जस्ट द प्रोबेबिलिटी, बस, कुछ भी नहीं है उसके अलावा. Yeah, literally, it's that probability that your random variable, let's say that is x, takes the value k, which is its realization. That is your probability mass function. Okay, it's nothing more than that. Okay. तो मैं ये जान के बना रहा हूँ ताकि आपको समझ आए कि हो क्या रहा है. अगर कहते हो तो we can go ahead. Yeah. Probability mass function, PMF. Oh, अच्छा, हाँ, probability function is the same as that. हाँ. Random variables पढ़ लिए? Discrete random variables. वहाँ पे probability mass function पढ़ा है. हाँ, वो यही होता है. It's saying what is the probability function of y. Basically ये. आपका random variable है. जिसकी कोई रियलाइजेशन आप डोनेट कर दो छोटे y से या फिर k से. व्हाट इज दिस इक्वल टू, ठीक है, ये वो पूछ रहा है आपसे, दैट्स इट। तो उसके लिए फर्स्ट यू नीड टू नो कि y की रियलाइजेशंस क्या क्या हैं, तो वो हम देख सकते हैं। पहली बात, आप दो दफ़ा पॉइंट टॉस कर रहे हो और y क्या है, सम है दोनों नंबर्स का। y की मिनिमल वैल्यू क्या होगी, y की मैक्सिमम वैल्यू क्या होगी, 2 and 12, right? Okay, good. So 2, 12. 2 number of ways 2 कितनी दफ़ा आ सकता है, किस तरह से आ सकता है, सिर्फ एक, ठीक है, जिसलिए मैं ये ड्रॉ कर रहा था। अच्छा, अब 3 कैसे कैसे आ सकता है, दो तरीकों से, 4 राइट, ठीक है, 3 तरीकों से आ सकता है। 5 करके देख लेते हैं, सिंपल हो जाएगा। 1 4 है, दिस इज बेसिकली 2 3, right, and then 2 4 and so forth, and I wanna basically 2 2, so this would be 3 2 3 3 3 4 and so forth. Okay, so 5, well, 1 2 3, this 4, right, and that's it. So do you see the pattern? ये 2 कैसे आया था, ये ऐसे आया था ना, है ना, और ये 1 का था, ठीक हो गया। 6 कितनी तरीकों से आ सकता है, 5 क्लियर, 7 गुड, और आगे आई नो कि रिपीट होना शुरू हो जाएंगे, इट्स गोना गो बेसिकली दिस 4 and then 10 would be 3, 11 would be 2, and 12 would be 1, right? So these are your number of ways how you can get this. Okay, so P of y equals, let's say 1 is equal to, ठीक है, theta or equals, sorry, no गलत लिखा है ना मैंने, क्या गलत लिखा है, मेरी गलती,
the total 36 नहीं,
पहली लाइन में मेरी क्या गलती है सबसे बड़ी, ठीक है। अच्छा, अब 1/36 में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, डिनोमिनेटर गलत है,
ठीक है,
भाई पॉसिबिलिटीज टोटल कितनी है,
36 है, 36 है,
36 है,
ठीक है,
क्यों 25 क्यों है, वो तो नंबर ऑफ वेज है, मतलब मेरी सैंपल स्पेस तो वो है ना ऊपर वाली, और मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि मेरे पास इसके आने की प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या होगी, वेल वो सिर्फ एक दफ़ा आता है और डिवाइडेड बाय ऑल ऑफ माई सैम्पल स्पेस दैट इज जस्ट 36. क्लियर? लाइकवाइज 3 के लिए क्या होगा, 2/36. लाइकवाइज 4 के लिए ये क्या होगा, फोर के लिए क्या है जी, 3/36 एंड सो फोर्थ. अच्छा जी देखिए, हम ये बात कर रहे हैं कि अमंग ऑल ऑफ दोज पॉसिबिलिटीज जो आपकी सैम्पल स्पेस के अंदर हैं, कौन से नंबर्स मुझे सम होके 1 दे सकते हैं, सॉरी 2 दे सकते हैं. दैट इज जस्ट 1 आउट ऑफ ऑल द पॉसिबल आउट ऑफ ऑल द पॉसिबल आउटकम्स. आप दोबारा पूछो, क्या पूछो, समझ आ रही है कि नहीं है? ओके, अब देयर इज अ नाइस वे टू राइट दिस जो मुझे पता है क्या है, ठीक है, बट वो कुछ इस तरह से है. मसला ये आ रहा है कि अभी मैं आपको ये शो नहीं कर सकूँगा कि मैं उस एक्सप्रेशन पे आया कैसे हूँ, ठीक है, बट इन द नेक्स्ट ट्यूटोरियल आए, ठीक. सो ये आपका वो है, लाइक आई शो दैट, ओके, बट यू कैन वेरीफाई दैट विच इज दिस. Hmm? अच्छा, काइंड ऑफ यू वुड गेट द आइडिया ये आ कहाँ से रहे. पीस वाइज डिफाइंड है, पीस वाइज का मतलब पता है, ठीक है. द अदर थिंग इज कि अब लेट मी जस्ट वेरीफाई, जब y2 होगा तो 1 - 1/36 आ जाएगा, which is this. y3 है 3 - 1 2/6, so forth. y4 है 4 - 1 3 3/36 and so forth. 6 के लिए चेक कर लेते हैं. 6 - y is 5 5/36 5/36. गुड. अच्छा, अब क्योंकि ये नंबर्स आगे से वापस जाना शुरू हो गए, उसके लिए मैंने ये काम किया. डज दैट मेक सेंस? कैसे? अब मैंने ये 13 लिया नंबर माइनस y जब 7 होगा, I wanted my expression to read as 6/36, राइट? इसलिए मैंने इसको 7 मतलब इसको इन वैल्यूज़ के लिए ठीक कहा. तो 13 minus 7 is just 6/36, which is correct, and just making it for 12. 12 minus 1 is 1/36.
Why
जी.
you 7 would be in the upper expression as well? अगर मार्क भी 7 डालें तो 7 minus 1 is 6 and
7 minus 1 is yes.
This is also
13 minus 8. हाँ, क्योंकि वो दोनों में कहीं पे भी आ सकते हैं. It's in between, तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. 13 minus, let me just verify, 5/36. ठीक, good.
ये probability function है.
Yeah.
तो every time they ask a probability function लिखना है तो we need to define it piecewise.
Not necessarily, but यहाँ पे हमने इसको इस तरह से define किया. And you see के end पे तो यही चीज़ है. Like it's nothing more than that, right? That's it. Or this is just a nice way to write the general function, because I don't want to specify. If I don't want to specify the value, the realization of my random variable, I would write y, but then because I have not specified it, right, I will express it is in this term. Okay. I think that's it for today. Let me check. Yeah. Perfect.